Take two. Just had a shower, getting ready to go out on the bike, go see Mary, go for a bit of a burn. Been feeling a little bit shit, and then the other day sort of didn't really help much. Anyway, I'll give you an idea. Right. A friend of mine I've known for a long time. I've known him for probably 20 years. Anyway, I met him because I started doing concrete cutting as well as security and stuff. And he met me after Mary had just gone through a robbery at work when she was managing a pokie venue, and she was robbed, tied up and everything. And I was picking her up from work and I came across it. Got the police involved, obviously. It was right across the road from the police station. Anyway, the copper and I, we jumped the back fence and we saw the door was sort of jimmied open, and I went to go and he stopped me anyway. We were waiting, and I said, "What are we waiting for?" We're waiting for a bit for the manager to get the key anyway. So Daniel met me after that happened with Mary, and I was dealing with that, plus the separation and with my daughter, my ex and my daughter, the shit go there and everything else like that, having to deal with Mary and stuff. But I was still training, still, didn't take drugs, didn't drink, wasn't any of that, right? He did, yep, no worries, he was already on it long before me. Anyway, he gave me a call the other day. Something's happened, so he's left his missus. I met him when he was with his first wife. They had 2 kids, 2 girls, and they squandered their money, or not their money, her father's money. So his father-in-law, her father's money, very wealthy man. There's still a lot left in the properties, and I just watched them over the years, just drink it and get high on it, and they got kids, and fuck. Anyway, whenever they had a problem, they'd always give me a call, people like that, come to Justin, I never taken drugs, didn't drink, nothing, even when I was hanging around. Not that I was hanging around, I was a lot of training, I was at work, I was at home with Mary, looking after her, helping her and stuff, and with my daughter, whatever. Anyway, but I'm just watching them just run around in life, like fucking idiots, like they've got a fucking problem. They don't have a fucking problem. I didn't have a problem. But they're making out they have problems. That's why they're on the shit, They had no problems. Mary and I we were doing it hard. Mary wasn't working, she was on work cover. There was a case going because of what happened. That was pretty hard for us financially, but we didn't show it. We didn't really feel it actually, And anyway, so they separated. But when they separated, Mary's case come through. We were starting to kick some goals in other avenues and stuff like that. But he saw me sort of like here, happy, everything, no worries type thing. Nothing's heavy, no burden's too big for me. People were asking me for help all the time. I helped them, and that. And then what happened with me is I got on the gear. And mind you, I'd seen people on that shit on the ice, and they're just erratic, just fucking idiots. Look at them. It wasn't until I got on it, and not that I wanted to get on it or anything. It's a life lesson. That's why I can talk about it. But majority of the people on meth don't have a problem in life. They don't want to die. They make out they've got problems. They make out they've got issues and shit like that, but you'd never catch one of them fucking putting a gun in their mouth or fucking lynching themselves up. They'd rather go out and fucking get shot by the police, or go out and stab someone and run out in front of fucking cars and be fucking idiots, but they'd never fucking go into a fucking garage and pull a gun out and put it in their mouth. They've never looked at death. They've been involved in various dangerous situations that they put themselves in because of drugs, speeding cars, crashing into poles, things like that. For me, I wasn't ready. I'd given up. So I wasn't like them. I wasn't an ant on fucking, you know. And he gave me a call the other day. He had a problem. So he's got a new missus now. She's got a daughter, young girl, in her teens. Anyway, something happened between young girl, older bloke. You getting it? But they're on the gear. Even the daughter's on the gear. The mother's off its head. He's off his head. Everything else like that. Anyway, so I'm talking. Went and met them. What's happened? Everything. Okay. Know a few people, bits and pieces. Yeah. At the same time, I'm assessing the situation, going right. Okay, she's no innocence here. Even though what happened was wrong, she's put herself in it. But it's still wrong, right? And you're doing it in front of her. She's doing it with you, and this has happened. Everything else like that, no worries. Anyway, so I made a couple of calls. I left them. Made a couple of calls anyway, so that's all taken care of. What I'm saying is this. He said something to me. He's going, oh, you know, I'm broke. I'm broke. You know, I'm not doing. Haven't got any cash, mate. You know, fucking all like this. You know. I'm standing there going. He's looking at me, and I said, Daniel, I've got nothing. Mary and I got nothing. We've got nothing. Oh, right. I said, you're not broke, mate. You're not broke. You own 100 acres. You own it outright. You own your car. You got cattle on your property that's earning you money. You're cash poor, asset rich. And you're only cash poor because you're fucking smoking it, puffing it, whatever you're doing, and just running around like a fucking idiot. Don't give me this fucking shit. I said, Mary and I are clinging on. We're clinging on. And you asked me to help you. I'll do that. I'll come here. And you're already, I want this, oh, they stand there, you're dropping names on, you fucking this and everything else like that, you know, I'm standing there just going, oh. But you rang me. And I left it at that, you know, and it pissed me off, it really did, you know, because I didn't say it to him, but like, when I crashed and, you know, down, I was in my garage for 10 years just about, nearly 10 years. And he never called me, never come see me, nothing, and, you know, nothing. I've got another mate who's passed away. We used to work together. We were mates for a very long time. He was a DJ in security. We knew certain people, a lot of certain people actually. And before I went on the drugs, you know, this is way back then. I used to go over to his place because I'd drive him home after work, after DJ, pick him up. We'd finish work together. I'd drop him off. I'd sit in his garage with him. He'd have a couple of joints or a line of speed when it was speed back then. Then he dealt a little bit, you know, dope and speed. So these fucking ferrets would come in and some of them weren't bad people, you know. But they was always the same. They always had issues, you know. Oh, this, that. And I used to look at me mate sometimes, and over the years, I just watch him just going. You know, he didn't buy a house. He had a kid, never got married, left. She left him. She rorted him. There's two sides to every story, but I know what happened. But everyone he knew just ripped him for something, you know, whether it be for a hammer, $20, didn't pay their debt on some dope or some speed, whatever, you know what I mean? Just rorted him, abused him, you know, like that. Oh, can you help me? He'd drive him around or he'd fix them because we're all handy with our hands. Machinery, fences, painting. He was a painter, tiler. And he'd paint their houses for free. They wouldn't pay or whatever, like that. And he says, no. And he's DJing and stuff, and he's doing a bit of gear on the side, mate, a little bit of extra money to only people he knows and stuff. Same people coming in. Anyway, I was watching him, just he's living in his parents' place, his dad's passed away, his mum's in a nursing home, so he's in this big house on his own. His sisters have got their own houses, they've got their own married kids and everything, so they don't worry. He's the boy, so he gets this anyway, so it's his. He's lonely. Sits in the garage. Decked it out like a unit. That's the house. Decked it in the garage. Shit everywhere. This bloke didn't have one hammer. He had 10,000 hammers. 4,000 screwdrivers. A room full of toilet paper, unopened. You know, just people bringing stuff into, you know. I'd sit there. It just wore him down. He'd given up. I actually saw him give up. And I'm noticing this. I try and pep him up and his ex would get involved or he'd get another girl because he was lonely and because he'd be a bit, you know, as you say, I'll use the right word, a bit of pussy struck, you know. He's lonely, you know, and I could see that. So I didn't, you know, when he pushed me away or he didn't answer the phone or he was a bit rude or short, whatever, I understood it, you know. But whenever we had time together, he'd always say, after 6 months, I knew he'd always say, he goes, I was a prick, wasn't I, that night with you. I can understand. You're lonely, mate. So, you want to be with someone? Opposite sex, I understand. He said, why not? He said, nothing gets you down, Justin. I said, yeah, she gets me down. I said, but, you know, he said, you're always happy. You can just, you know, he said, I know what you've been through in your life growing up and everything. And what you go through at work, I've seen the punch-ons you've been in and you've been on your own or the threats and everything else. And he said, you just take it in your stride. And I said, yeah, that's how it is. It's life, mate. And with my ex and that. I said, yeah, but I knew she was going to do that. So it wasn't a shock, you know, when she did that. Took me money, whatever. It wasn't a shock. I knew she was going to do it. I'm not about money, you know. As long as I'm nice and I know I'm nice and I'm polite, I know that I can walk down any street and knock on someone's door and ask for a glass of water and a bit of bread because they know I'm nice. I'm polite. I care. And I'll say thank you. And anyway, something happened. You know, so Mary, you know, she was having a case, and then we started kicking a few goals, started getting, you know, making a bit of headway. Not out of the, but you know, this is before I went down, you know, and I had my other mate too. So they saw me getting up, you know, Mary and I, we love everything, and we're happy, and you know, no one talked badly about Mary. I'd go to funkies. I didn't do drugs. I'd just sit there, and she knew that. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke dope with him. Didn't do speed with him. Nothing. Same thing with, you know, the other mate. Nothing. You know, it was just like a bit of a wind down after work and have a bit of a laugh, bit of a comedy session in safe hands. Watching everyone else being a dickhead, I don't have to kick them out. You know what I mean? And anyway, so yeah, they knew what I've been up against in my life. With my mum and everything else, my separation with my ex and my daughter. And anyway, so I went down. This one, not that. My other mate, because I was still going to work, he could see something was wrong. I'd changed, but I'm still caring. I didn't detract away from what I was of me. And we go home one night, drop me off at home one night, and I'd sort of been puffing before, and got on the ice. He didn't know. I was sitting there and I said, oh, because he was, you know, speed went to ice. And he was dealing it just to, as I said, not to strangers, to people he knew, but it's the same people, and they're all coming in with the same fucking problems. But these people, they won't run around and kill themselves. No, they just make everything else, wear everyone else down and use you. And I turned to him while we were sitting in his garage and I said, can I, give us a puff? He's like, what? Yeah, thought I was joking. I said, no, it's a puff. So what's going on to me? Nah, not you. Nah. I mean, he's seen me go through a lot. A lot. It'll slowly come out of what I've done and what I've seen. I just want people to know that what I've done and what I've seen, it hasn't been for my own pleasure or my own gain, okay? And I've helped people, I've actually stepped in front of other people's trouble. Anyway, he went, you? It was like, in his face, it was like standing there and watching, you know, Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world, a solid rock. Nothing will move it. It's been there for billions of years. It was like his face was just witnessed Mount Everest had just collapsed. Had just gone. The strongest thing that everyone knows. Just went. But I wasn't erratic. He wasn't erratic either. Because we'd given up. So we weren't running around like these fucking idiots are on the shit, stealing cars and everything. We weren't doing that. We were doing our daily thing and whatever else. So we'd get in our little ruts and, probably, screw a screw for an hour. But, we weren't like these fucking idiots. And anyway, I watched him before he knew, before I was even on it. I watched him just listening. And he'd given up. It wasn't until what happened to me I could understand, And then just the other day, what my mate did, turned around and went, "Oh, I'm break," I said, "What do you mean?" Mary and I were just hanging on, mate. You got 100 acres, cattle on it, everything. You got money. You got 180 grand in cash. You own everything. You don't have a bill to your name. Get off the shit. Don't do it in front of this kid. Don't get her off, get the mother of it. You're all cooked, mate. What are you going to about? Where were you? I didn't say it to him, but where was he? Didn't come for me. Not that I was asking, not that I was calling, but whenever they have a problem, they give me a call. And anyway, so I crashed pretty bit, so I was over the other mates. This one didn't even see me. Because of who I knew and everything and what I sort of did before, everyone sort of knew I had those contacts. Oh, can you get this, can you get that? Never been able to get in. Never made money on it. And Mary and I went through a bit of a hard time. Still sort of are, and we're getting there, but it's a long road, hard road. And it really brought me down, the other day, him saying you got that money and everything. I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'll ring you up here. All through those years I was in the garage, I never missed sending him a text for his birthday, his kids' names. And he never once texted me, say, "Oh, well, it's nothing." The other mate did, who'd given up, he did. I'll tell you a funny story about my mate. I was over there working on his bike, fixing his Ducati, in the driveway. And because he was dealing a little bit amongst people he knew, I was working on his bike anyway, so people used to come in and out through the gate, all closed off, so, And this one bloke walked past me as I'm working on his Ducati, And I've seen him walk past, just didn't look right. He was looking around, fidgety. My mate comes out and I said, "What's the matter with him?" He's going, I said, "He's not right, mate, something's bad." He's always like that. I said, "No, it's not right." He watched the gate over and over. He's worried, mate. It looked like he was told to do something he didn't want to do, but he's having to do it. How's this? My mate, the coppers come in and raid him, and I'm in the driveway working on his Ducati. How's this? This is hilarious, right? They're all sitting there, watching the TV, Guess where the cameras for the TVs? Behind them. They're watching this way. They didn't even see him come through the gate. It was hilarious. We had to be there, it was hilarious. So the police have walked in, all undercovers. They've walked past me, I'm walking on the bike. Because they sort of knew who I was and that. Obviously they've been monitoring the place. So I'm working on this 1098R Ducati, working on the clutches and the gearbox and that. And I get up because I'm measuring, left my ruler in the garage where they all were, where all the coppers are. And I was actually standing by the copper who actually said, "Guys, police, there's a raid." He had to pull his badge up and everything. Look like a kid. It was funny. And anyway, so I'm coming and going. There's coppers everywhere. And then this one copper goes, "Who are you, mate? You just can't be walking around." I said, "Well, you haven't stopped me." He said, "Where you been?" I said, "Been in the closet there." He said, "What?" I said, "I've been in the closet in there. It's got a nice little desk. Let's move rulers over and measuring the clutch plates." No? He said, "You've been walking around everywhere." I said, "Yeah. And I've been watching you and your mate playing with my mate's toy guns around the corner, laughing while you're getting their names down. How's this though?" The bloke who walked in, he bought some gear off my mate. When the police walked in, he bought it. It was in his pocket, yeah? Right? My mate got caught with that amount of quantity, which wasn't enough yet to put him over. What that other dickhead bought off my mate, he threw it back on the table. I saw him do it. He set him up. Ratted him out. Anyway, so that's when he knew I had a bit of a quirk about me. So he got through that. Anyway, it was hilarious. And we helped each other a lot. We went through a hard time together. Anyway, things started to get a little bit better, you know. A little. And I got a phone call when I was working one night from someone he knew. He didn't have he just didn't have the strength to tell me. And I'm at work bouncing, doing security. I'm on the phone. See, what's wrong? Oh, Justin, we've been asked to call you. I won't say his name, but blah blah blah. He's got cancer. Huh? Cancer. Oh, wait. He's terminal. He's got about 9 weeks to live. So I was at work. It was about 12 o'clock at night, and I went to the manager and I said, "Look, it's a bit quiet. I know there's a crowd coming. I'll be gone for 40 minutes, okay?" He said, "What's wrong?" "Now I don't leave venues. Something's wrong." I said, "No one will fuck up. Just tell them I'll be back." No, and everyone knew if I left the venue, it was for a good reason. And I always ate. I like my fruit, and I just grabbed me apple and jumped on my Harley. And I got to the gate, and he was just getting out of the car. I was that quick, and I walked up to him. I just gave him an apple, you know, an apple that keeps the doctor away. And as much as he'd given up, you know, he was scared. He didn't want to go like that. He wanted to go quick, you know, and that didn't happen for him because everyone else, they used him, they jumped on him, so-called friends. I was fighting him off and everything, they were stealing from him while he was in hospital and everything else was shit. Anyway, passed away. But before he passed away, we were sitting there in his shed one night and he's turned around and he's gone, "Justin, you know," and he had this little sawed-off shotgun. And I was sitting there and he was a bit erratic and everything, you know, whatever, a bit scared. I said, "You know." And he turned around, he grabbed the gun, watched him put two shells in it, and he put it straight at my head. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I know what you can do. I know you can get this gun out of my hand that quick and shoot me, kill me. You're an idiot." He was committed. He wanted me to kill him. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go like he was going to go. And I said to him, it was a bit tense there for about 10 minutes. The shell went off, he pulled the trigger, and I just moved the gun. I grabbed it, and he's gone. And if I had moved it, he would have blown me head off. And I reminded him, I said, "Mate, 18 years ago, you'd already given up on life. Why now? You haven't given up. You just don't want to go like this. Like something's got you down, something's brought you down. You look weak." And he said, was cancer. It went through his body. When he was in jail, he got cancer on his finger here. And back in the years ago, they chopped it off and they didn't retest. Well, it went from there to his little toe on the other side of his body, so it went right through his body. He was gone. And with the drugs and everything else he was taking, and he was living on his own, and girls would come over and they'd steal from him. They'd come in with no bags and they'd leave with 4 bags. They were stealing from him. Well, he had a stroke because of the drugs and everything he was on from the doctors, as well as he was taking that shit as well. He had a stroke. I found him. He'd been there for 6 hours. So now he's a vegetable. You know, he was like that now. He knew what was going on. Anyway, I'm just making this video to say, it's just all these fucking idiots on drugs, yeah? Right, they're running around like fucking idiots. But they don't want to die. But you know, you see people like me, I'm not saying it's good, whatever. I'm not a fucking idiot. And I took me drugs. Yeah, I did. I was quiet. I beat myself up. I didn't go and beat society up. I beat myself up. I'd given up. And it really got to me the other day how he turned around and asked me for help because his girlfriend's, daughter had, been overcome by a couple of blokes. Even though she put herself, she lived on the street, she's done drugs, she's driven stolen cars, ran police cars, everything like this, the whole lot, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, she sort of brought it on herself, even though I'm not condoning the act of what happened, but, and then he says, I'm broke and everything else, and he's calling for me for help. Well, where's help for me? Not that I'm asking for it, but like when you put it like that, and I've been through this shit, and I'm sitting here now, and I'm telling you, look at me mate who passed away. The way he passed away, it's just hard, So many fucking people think they got a fucking problem and they're fucking not helping themselves. They're on the piss, and they've got no problems. Like him, he owns a property. His property with everything he's got, if he sold up, he's debt free, but if he sold everything, he'd walk away with about 1.2 million. That's not bad, eh? You get a little fucking hut somewhere, he likes to live out in the bush, that's where he is anyway. These people, they think they got nothing, they got plenty. And there's a lot of people like myself and others out there that are fighting to keep their families together, mentally, loving, happy with each other, while they're going through fucking hell. Going through hell. And these fucking idiots, and they've helped these fucking idiots, and these fucking idiots don't come back. And then saying that, it's still good to be nice. Because whether I'm at my lowest point or my highest point, I know this. I can walk down any street in Australia, knock on someone's front door, and I know I'm not a polite person, they'll hear it, and I'll be able to get a glass of water and a bit of bread. Because I don't look like a fucking idiot. And I could be off my head on fucking drugs. But I'm not hectic, because I've given up. I'm just walking through now, I'm in there, but I'm not making hectic out there in the street. I should be the one running around like hectic. They should be indoors shitting themselves with me. So just say, before you cast judgment on someone for doing something, like, and I never did drugs, and you got to understand that what makes a person who's never done drugs in their life, been around it, worked in it, obviously security, my mum was a prostitute, I was left in a massage parlour, shit like that, but I was never alcoholic, never took drugs, nothing like that, went to the gym, I was fit, fucking, yeah, no worries. Didn't like violence, I was a security guard, I knew how to stop a fight, I didn't know how to fight, but I'd stop a fight, even now, never made gains off the back of others for no reason, things like that, and you just, what makes a fucking person for years all of a sudden go to drugs? That person knows why, but why don't people who know that person, who's never done it, turn around and go, what the fuck happened to them to do that? and they're quiet. No one comes. But they judge. They don't judge the dickheads. They judge me. And I'm punishing myself. I wasn't running around like a fucking idiot. I was still paying me bills. I was in the garage. I wasn't harassing Mary, you know. I was punishing myself for what happened. And it wasn't my fault. But I didn't know how to deal with it. So just next time, you know, when you know someone, you say you know someone, yeah? Make sure you fucking know what you're saying when you say you know them. Because when they fall over, or they're fucking on the drugs, or they're on the gear, or on the piss, or they're down some fucking dead end road out in the middle of nowhere, and that's not what they normally do, and they're going to remember that you said you know them, and where are you? Guess what? They've seen you looking at them go down there, and you didn't follow. So I'm telling everyone out there, when you say you know someone, you better fucking man up to it. And if you say you're going to have someone's back to their face, you fucking better. Because you wouldn't know them if they were on that shit, yeah? But then you've seen them get on it, right? Don't fucking start as a dickhead and everything else. Go, what the fuck makes a person at the age of 40, at the age of 50, start taking that shit or drinking like that when they never did? That's horrific. That's more horrific than a 15-year-old getting on ice. That is more horrific. It's to be expected for kids to go through alcohol and drugs and everything else like as much as we don't want them to. But to see someone who's never done it, they get to 40, right? 45, 50, right? And never done it, and now, bang, they're on it. What the fuck happened in their life? It must have been absolutely devastation, immense, with the shit they've been through in their life. Didn't tip them over. What the fuck tipped them? So I'm telling everyone out there, go get a pie, share it with someone, right? And when you say things like, I know you, I got your back, yeah, I love you, then don't look at them with judging eyes. Don't not be there. And don't watch them go, because you know what? When they're down there on their own, you're the one. You are the people that they are going to remember. You know why? Because you said you'd be there, you know them, you love them. None of those people are there. None of those people are there for me. None. Not one. He never said he'd be there for me. But he was there for me. I was there for him. Because we just how it was. You know when you say it, you know when people say that? Watch him. It's like when people say, you can trust me. Watch him. I'll tell you something now. I'll tell you all something now. You want my fucking trust? I'll let you in on a secret, yeah? I count my fucking money after the ATM machine is giving it to me. And you want my fucking trust? Oh, I trust people in different ways. But I know who not to trust in my money, in my valuables, but I can trust them looking after my dog because they love animals, right? Okay? Do you understand? There's areas of trust, but very rarely do you get people in your life where you can trust them with everything. So if you ever say that to someone, you know them, you love them, you got their back. Make sure you do. Make sure you keep your ear to the ground. Take care. Go get a pie from JB.